With REOs and short sales, one of the issues or potential problems you run into is they are extended time frames. Sometimes a short sale can take 9 months, and in some cases over a year. Sometimes they can take 3 months, but there have been many cases where it's gone, 5, 6, 7. We have one short sale right now that's been over 10 months. And you run into things like the loans getting resold in the middle of your contract, and now all of a sudden you have to go deal with a whole different lender and resubmit all the paperwork and go through all the time frames again. So being able to manage that between staying in contact with your client, who sometimes is in the property and other times is not in the property, have relocated and are out of the area, and then also trying to keep in touch with the agent on the other side. So in the case where we're listing the short sale, and now you've got a buyer and a buyer's agent that you're dealing with, well, when you've got a short sale that's been going on 10 months, keeping that buyer feeling confident that we're staying on top of it with the banks and as the listing agent is very important, because if the buyer loses confidence during that time frame, they just move on and they'll buy something else. But in this case, with the one that we've had for over 10 months, the buyer is still hanging in there, and we hope to have that closed. We're just waiting on a second approval right now. So it is important with REO sales and short sales in particular, but it can happen even with a normal type of sale. When you're representing a buyer client, a lot of buyers have gotten interested in REOs and short sales because they believe, and in many cases it's true, that you can get them for below market value. Not always the case, but in many times can be. But one of the things in representing a client is that in the purchasing of an REO or short sales is that there can be quite a bit of upfront legwork just trying to track down information about the property. Sometimes in the case of REO properties, the agents may not be responsive. Many of them handle lots of deals, and because there's so much activity on them right now, it's hard to get phone calls back, responses to email, so it can be very time consuming. So when you're representing your client and trying to move things along efficiently, get enough information to make a decision on, or to move on, it can be quite a frustrating process for the buyer. So again, when we first start working with a buyer client, especially, letting them know about the process, giving them a good feel for what our expectation is, and trying to help set their expectation is very important, so we know what their expectation is, and whether it's important that they be in a house within a certain time frame, or what their tolerance level is, or whatever in this type of process.
Absolutely. I just want to also clarify the term REO. A lot of people don't understand what that term stands for. It actually stands for real estate owned, and that means it's owned back by the lender. That means this property was foreclosed on, and is now owned by the bank that had that lien on that property. So that's just to clarify, because a lot of people don't understand the terminology.